What's up, nerd geeks and gamers alike? It's your boy Nerdy Nick, back with a brand new video. Now today is one of the crazy days. We had my daughter's 5th birthday party, and I was fortunate enough to invite and have my friend show up and help celebrate the day. And now that the party's over with and stuff, we got to put our hands on Mortal Kombat 11, and we played for a little bit there, and we tested some new fatalities, and all of us just really got to sit down on the couch and you know, or crisscross applesauce and just play the game in front of the TV like we did when we were little kids. And so that's tonight's topic of the video, is the importance of couch co-op in local multiplayer games. Games that really just bring you back to a time where you were a kid, sitting on the couch with your buddy, trying to beat, you know, Contra 3, the Alien Wars, or playing against each other in, heck, the original Mortal Kombat or Super Street Fighter 2 on your Genesis. So we'll start off with David. What is the most memorable local multiplayer or couch co-op game that you've ever played?
For me, it was always Tekken Tag Tournament. Quick story about that game. I was playing it at my house with some friends during a lightning storm. And
nice.
Apparently there was some lightning close enough to the house that it like froze the PlayStation, and then that disc, like, to this day, will still freeze at that exact point.
Oh, wow.
Character selection.
Wow.
So the disc is like fried. But yeah, Tekken Tag was always my favorite. That's what we always played after we went swimming, you know, had our snacks in the summertime. Yeah, that was it for me.
And that was for the PS2, right?
Yeah, that was a PS2 version.
Yeah, I remember the big arcade cabinet for it. You had it was at GameWorks in the Foothills Mall. I don't know if you guys remember that.
That was GameWorks, yeah.
Yeah, right by the movie theater
cool.
in the Foothills Mall, and they had a Tekken Tag cabinet, and the cabinet controls were away from the screen. The screen was a separate piece of equipment, and it was a giant screen, like a 6x6 screen.
On that game.
Wow.
Yeah. So what about you, Dustin? What is a really memorable couch co-op or local multiplayer game that you played a lot?
For me, I remember getting around with all the friends and we'd play Halo 2. Halo 2, Xbox, Microsoft stuff. Oh man. Go to somebody's house, we bring all of our Xboxes together, LAN it up. Or, you know what, if everybody left or somebody got sick, just play co-op, go in Legendary, and obviously you get mad at each other if, you know, somebody died on Legendary, because then you had to start back at this checkpoint, but you eventually got through it, you kind of sucked it up, but that kind of, the LAN thing was the best thing about it, though, because you get multiple people together, you got different rooms, you got cohesion and units and stuff like that, so squad play was huge.
Right.
And then don't let some people get snipers, but...
Speaking for myself, one of the most memorable local multiplayer games back in my day was Super Street Fighter 2 for my Sega Genesis. I was the only kid on the block that had that game for the Sega Genesis, and I was actually the Sega Genesis kid on the block. Everyone else had Super Nintendo. So I had Sonic the Hedgehog, they had, you know, Super Mario World and whatnot. But when it came down to, like, exclusivity, the kids would always come over to my house, and we would always play Super Street Fighter 2.
That's cool.
And I was so, I guess, naive just in my youth that I didn't know how to select a stage. So we always played on the same stage, and it was that reuse stage, because I didn't know. All you had to do was just press down, and then you could pick whatever country you wanted to go to.
How long before you finally figured that one out?
Well, I'm 27 now, and about a year ago I was 26. So yeah,
Nice.
So it was a while. It was a while ago, but the kids would come over, and we would all. I had a really cool bunk bed, so the bottom bunk could either be like a couch or, you know, a bed, and you could pull it out.
Yeah.
So we would always fold it up into a couch, and there would be like 5 of us piled on there, just playing and watching the TV like right across from my bed, and just like the madness, you know, like you'd have everyone come in, and it would be like a Saturday morning or whatever, and we would have like a tournament, you know, and whoever lost had to give up the controller, and they were done until that round was over.
I was after the cartoons, though. because you had to watch the
cartoons came first.
Then
exactly.
you could play the games when the crappy, adult soap operas and stuff came out.
Right. And speaking of Saturday morning cartoons, make sure to check out my video. I'll put a link in the description below for my Saturday morning video that has even Mr. David Herman in it himself. Yeah.
In the flesh.
In the link below. Yeah. So one place in Tucson that you can actually get great couch co-op games or local multiplayer games is Game Trader of Tucson, located at the corner of Grant and Silverbell in the Safeway Plaza, right next to Safeway. And they've always got great sales going on. They've got games from Atari 2600 all the way up to modern systems today. And they've also got Mortal Kombat 11, which is a game we played tonight.
Yes.
So what are your impressions on the game, guys?
It's wild. I mean, I haven't played a fighting game in a while. And see how far they've come. And I don't know if it's just Mortal Kombat in particular. But it's definitely
You
brutal.
can see it going on behind us. We just let it
But
just play.
Move out of the way a little bit.
It's wild. It's a wild game.
Yeah.
Dustin, what did you think of it compared to like Mortal Kombat 10?
Yeah, Mortal Kombat 10 was my. I liked it, but this one already I like it a lot better. They kept some stuff the same, but for the most part, it got way more brutal. That I like brutality, guys. I mean, I don't know about you, but gore,
brutal.
anything like that, I love it, and this totally nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yeah. This makes like the original Mortal Kombat look like, child's play.
Oh,
and it's really wild
Definitely.
and crazy to think that like back in like 92 or 93 when the original came out, excuse me, parents and lawmakers and all these people were throwing such like a huge fit and deal. Shut up! We're recording a podcast. Anyways, they were making a huge deal about, how these games are super violent and bloody and stuff.
Oh my god.
And
nothing.
And look
turn it
now.
violent.
Yeah, look now. I mean, the first Mortal Kombat game on the Sega Genesis was rated MA13 for mature audiences 13 and older. And I mean,
Mature
you look
13?
at back then it was. That was before the ESRB actual rating system.
I was gonna say I've never actually heard of that rating, so that makes sense. I learn something new every day.
If only they could see what the games are like now. It's crazy.
They probably would roll over in their grave.
Shit their pants.
Oh yeah.
But one thing that we all experienced tonight was the old you lose, you hand over the controller, and you fight the winner. And to me, that proves. I mean, the feeling that I got, it wasn't like, oh my god, guys, like I just jizzed my pants. I lost, and now I'm handing the controller over. It's bringing back memories.
Somebody's a sore loser. Nobody was a sore loser.
Yeah.
We just had fun.
And,
for sure.
And that was like, you know what? Couch co-op games and stuff, they're not dead. They're not gone. I know, like, a lot of big publishers like EA and Bethesda and stuff think like, people just want multiplayer games, like online multiplayer games. Single-player games are dead. Couch co-op games are dead. And that's not true at all. I mean, there was a time, like last year, when you came over to my house and we played Rogue Stormers, the dual-stick shooter.
Oh, yeah, that was when you were still at the apartment.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
And every level was, like, completely different.
I love that game.
And that was just a side-scrolling shooter on the PS4 that was a roguelike. So, like, if you die and you restart the level is completely different.
Wow.
You will never play the same.
Cool,
you will never play
That's
that.
really cool.
You'll never play that level the same way.
So you can never remember it to be like, oh, there's gonna be a guy there.
Exactly.
And then there's gonna be another guy over here.
Yep.
That's
just totally
really
random
cool,
every
actually.
time.
Yeah. And we played that for like a good hour.
Oh, easy. Yeah.
It was fun. It was a solid hour of just like awesome action. I was on one couch, he was on the other. We were just chilling, having a great time. And then tonight, same thing. We're playing Mortal Kombat, and I swear to God, if I had mystical powers or whatever, we would all be little kids tonight, sitting down in front of the TV playing the game, and that's exactly
Do we
what
keep this as kids? I mean,
I know. Do we keep the beers?
we can interchange. It's interchangeable for like
Kool-Aid?
for like a Jolt Cola,
which
is what we had as kids as well. This
Root
was
beer,
around back then.
Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever. But couch co-op games and local multiplayer games, I think, are integral and very important to gamers, because a lot of gamers suffer from loneliness. They suffer from isolation.
Yeah.
And these kind of games really enforce and encourage human interaction. Yeah. And that is something especially American men suffer from is a lack of friendship and loneliness. There was a podcast I listened to called The Art of Manliness.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard of that? Yeah.
I've
And
heard it.
the podcast is great. They always have great guests and whatnot. But there was an episode called How to Find Your Band of Brothers. And they went into like a giant study.
It's right here.
Yeah. And they went to a giant study about how the suicide rates in men our age and a little bit older are like higher than they've ever been. And one of the leading causes is isolation, loneliness, not having a group of friends. And these games, even tabletop games.
Tabletop.
Tabletop games, D&D, Warhammer, and whatnot, encourage everyone to come around and gather and play, games and have fun in it, and you grow and you experience a bond, and that's something that you can never take away. So any game devs, companies, publishers, whatever, watching, if you even stumble upon this video, know that what you're doing, if you are making couch co-op games, local multiplayer games, that is important, and you need to keep doing that, because it's something that needs to stick around. And that's my opinion, because I can play Rocket League all night by myself.
Yeah.
And
Overwatch.
Yeah, Overwatch, Call of Duty, Black Ops 4, whatever. And be whatever, right? But then if I turn on my Xbox, my old OG Xbox, pop in Halo 2, and have these guys, playing with all night, I'm gonna have a way better experience than if I were to be playing just, online with people, no headset,
with people you don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, even
sometimes on a different server from a different country that
exactly
doesn't speak your language.
Right.
Yeah. You try to cross that barrier
and
shoot.
Yeah.
You shoot.
Yeah. And nowadays, I mean, even on Overwatch, I would have times where I'm like, "Hello, is anyone there?"
Nobody's there,
and no one responds.
Unless you're in competitive.
13-year-old
kid.
Yeah,
Experience. I play it a lot.
Yeah, right. And so, your fun factor is gonna go through the roof playing locally.
I agree with that.
And there was a baseball game that I have for the GameCube. After me and David filmed the Saturday morning episode, we popped in. I think it was Super Mario Super Sluggers or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. That's right.
And we just played 9 innings of Super Mario baseball game, and that made my Saturday fucking good. Tops. Like after he had to go because he had to, we're adults. We have responsibilities, unfortunately. Yeah. But after he left, my day was still like, I had a fucking kick-ass Saturday morning.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you watch cartoons?
Yeah. Pokemon is still in the VHS player.
Yeah, I think so.
There you go.
So I mean, let's do this. What is a gaming franchise you wish would make a local multiplayer comeback? So you.
Comeback. Wow,
that's a heavy one.
That's a hard one.
Right? Way to kick you guys in the nuts, huh?
I know. Put me in the hot seat. Well, I'm trying to think of what's like only online now that used to have like local multiplayer.
Well, even then, you can go back, like way back. Like Halo, for instance, was one of those things where Halo's always going to have multiplayer and story mode, and like Battlefield has the same thing where you have story. But back in the day, dude, like, do you have brothers and stuff like that you played with? And
no, I had 2 older sisters. They're 10 years older than me.
Oh, dude.
Like even your Crash Team Racing kind of games.
Yeah.
Like games that just aren't around anymore.
Yeah, that's a valid point. Something like I think the newer Mario Kart still has still has some multiplayer.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
multiplayer, but
Yeah, you were
I don't know. I don't have a Switch, so I don't know. One that immediately comes to mind is the earlier Call of Duties that were like on the 360 and the PS3. You could still do custom local matches.
Yeah.
Like I remember Modern Warfare 2. I'd bring my 360 and hook it up to my buddies, and we'd still have local multiplayer matches.
Yep.
Right.
With a 360 on Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
You can't do that with modern Call of Duties.
Right. Yeah.
It's just all online or nothing.
Yeah.
So I wish that was still kind of a thing where, you know, the OG LAN party.
Battlefield. Or what was it? Battlefront.
Star Wars?
Yeah.
Oh my
Star
God.
Wars Battlefront,
Why didn't I think of that?
multiplayer. Dude, that was...
You know...
We would sit there for hours, dude.
Yeah.
Until you shot purple lasers. Anybody
Right?
remember purple
Yeah.
lasers? Dude.
What sucks is like, for example, in the middle of the country, in the middle U.S., internet is the weakest. That is where internet sucks the most.
I have
in
garbage
our
internet
country.
too, where I live.
Well, yeah, I mean, even for example, where we live, I'm fortunate I live in a new development. I get as high speeds as they want to give me.
Basically, yeah.
And where you live, a couple of, like, you know, stone tosses away, you get... You have to combine your land internet with the satellite internet to get internet.
To get 25.
Yeah.
That's just the upload speeds.
So, in modern day gaming, one person can have a game. We can both have, or all three of us can have the same game.
Yeah.
And two of us have internet access and one of us doesn't. And we all go and try to hook up and do a local LAN party. The person who doesn't have internet doesn't have the updates. And therefore, you can't play with us because you're shit out of luck.
Yeah. That's the character he got really good with got nerfed.
and you have the version that's not nerfed. You know, like so that's one thing that sucks. What about you? What is a local multiplayer or couch co-op game you wish would make a comeback?
Honestly, Battlefront, it has made a comeback, but
it's not the
split
same.
screen, that whole thing where you could have one player and another player play on
Yeah.
the same team on the same couch, and you had each other's backs. You know, you had that stuff. Where
Right.
That was awesome. There was a couple other games I'm trying to think off the top of my head besides Halo and all that stuff as well. Rainbow Six. Anybody play that? Oh man, that was fun.
Rainbow
Vegas
Six.
2.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so fun.
Unreal Tournament.
Unreal
Those are
Tournament
good
and
games, yeah.
Unreal Championship was another one. It was godlike. You just got destroyed.
And just to kind of add to that, this is a little off topic, but with the new Xbox One that's going to be all digital with no discs, see, that's not appealing to people like me. First of all, because I like discs, I like having them on my shelf, you know, old school.
Physical media.
Yeah, but the other problem with that is if you have an all digital console, it means you got to download everything. Like Nick said, I only get 25 megs down at my house, which if I want to download a modern game, 40 to 50 gigs, that's going to take 6 to 7 hours.
Plus
the updates.
Day one updates for every fucking game.
You're looking at least 9 hours to download a new game on my connection, and that's just... who's going to do that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, coming from the PC over here, I use Steam and all those cloud-based stuff. It's awesome to have, only because of the fact I don't have to go buy $60 worth of a game and then all of a sudden drop the disc and then it's lost. Or I can actually sign in another location, download the game, and have a cloud save based off where I've left off. So that
I
is
get that
like that's a
aspect of
perk,
it.
but
Yeah.
I do like I remember I bought Borderlands 2, the whole loot chest edition.
Yeah.
And now with the PC, I can do it, but I don't get the same effect except for I get a digital key. I mean, I can get the CD and everything, but I don't have an optical drive just because of the streaming and stuff like that. Just kind of makes it obsolete. And but I like that you get to walk through the hard through case, the like that custom metal case that was so cool to hold your disc in.
Yeah.
And the artwork on it and everything was so cool. But that even on the stream, like you say, it's kind of bringing that.
Well, it's like we can experience that because we have great internet, but David can't.
Exactly.
You know, so say one day physical media goes out the window,
like completely.
Hypothetically, and you still live in a place where the internet infrastructure isn't as great, you're screwed.
Yeah, and it's really weird. Like all around me, it's all built up. Comcast, cable, you know, I have CenturyLink, so I have DSL, and then like he said, it's not satellite, but it's like a radio dish, like to a cell tower basically. And I have to.
I'm just kidding.
It's not.
But it uses your cell phone.
No, I'm not. I swear to God.
I've done that with my Switch. Yeah. On road trips, I will set up my phone to be a hotspot, and I'll hook my Switch up to my phone
and play online
wirelessly and play online.
I didn't even know you
I've
could do
played
that.
Fortnite on the road in my car.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, well, I'll have my wife drive, and I'll be playing fucking Fortnite on my Switch.
But it's
I got a little car sick though, not gonna lie.
Yeah. It's like a radio signal to a cell tower, and I have to use a special modem to combine the two connections, and even then, I only get 25 down. So for people like me, that is a real problem, and it sucks because I live.
What's your upload speed though?
6.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah,
that's terrible.
It's not great. But so yeah, for people like me that live in a very rural area.
Rural.
Rural.
I say it.
Rural.
What kind of car is that?
Yeah. Rural. Moving on.
Anyway. So yeah, that would suck. I mean, it's really irritating too because right down the street, people can get internet.
Yeah.
Less than a mile from me, you can get Comcast.
Right.
Wow.
So, but yeah, I'm still stuck on dinosaur shit.
Yeah. Did I say my game already?
You play Turok?
No, I don't think you did.
No? Okay.
Turok?
Oh no, we got sidetracked.
No, okay. Yeah. So like a local multiplayer or couch co-op game I wish would make a comeback would be along the style of like Double Dragon or Battletoads.
Oh my gosh.
You know, I know Battletoads, they showed off last year at E3 an announcement video that there was a new Battletoads game in works. And do you remember the Battletoads?
I'm trying to think. I remember Frogger. But
So Battletoads
Frogger.
Battletoads was like they came out around the time Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came around, where everyone all of a sudden had to be a mutated teenager. You know, you got Street Sharks.
Yeah,
you know,
Street
and all,
Sharks, dude,
and all
that
that
was
shit. So Battletoads, there was like Pimple, Zit, and I can't remember.
What's with those
Crash or
names? Is
something?
it because of the teenagers? Like,
Yeah, it was just like, oh, check us out, we're hardcore. You know. Yeah.
Zit.
Rash was the other one. Yeah. But they were classic, you know, couch co-op games you could play on your NES or Sega Genesis. I even have a game. Ironically enough, I said those two. It's Double Dragon and Battletoads on my Sega Genesis, where
That's cool.
The crossover happens, you know, and it's just you and a friend playing a video game, beating up the bad dudes on the screen, you know, and then you wait till it flashes go, you know, on the right side of the screen so the screen can eventually move on and whatnot, and you know, it was just a fun time. Or even like Power Rangers the movie, the game, you know, for the Sega Genesis was a side-scrolling beat 'em up game that was great. Side-scrolling beat 'em ups in general, I just wish would make a giant comeback because
they got a couple.
Yeah, there's a lot that are awesome, or even like I'm gonna say this, like wrestling games.
Oh my gosh.
Wrestling games
don't exist anymore.
Well, all you've got is WWE 2K whatever year it is. Which side bonus here. I picked up WWE 2K18, so last year's version, at Target, brand new for $6.
Damn.
Here's in the clearance bin. Might have been an accident on Target's end, but I was like, oh, don't mind if I do.
Can you make more accidents for me?
Yeah.
There, please.
Target, hook it up.
But like even wrestling games were really fun to play locally. You know, whether it be pro wrestling on the NES or
Tony Hawk, dude.
Tony Hawk. Those are. Oh gosh, we are missing a giant. There's a giant hole.
Well, we're just
gaming
covering all
right now.
spectrums here.
Yeah, we just jumped right over Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Tony Hawk is a great game to play. I mean,
split screen.
I met one of my old best friends playing Tony Hawk at our church. We had our youth church. We had video game console set up, you know, because it was a cool church.
Did you get lock-ins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was going on like a combo with like 1,000,000+ points.
Oh my gosh.
And
Did you do the glitch where you get stuck? Is that what you did?
No, it was like Tony Hawk 4, I think. And a friend of mine, who's his name is Travis, he came up and was like, "Can I play?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And we were both going on 1,000,000+
Dude.
combos, and it was you know, those are fun games. You know, you get great soundtracks, great gameplay.
Absolutely. Yeah, different dynamics to it as well. Different maps, different, like, because of how small it was, obviously, to us, it was the greatest thing when you couldn't recognize. Nowadays, when I go back to it, I'm like, how did I read that again? And so you like read up on it. But to us at the time, golden.
Yeah, like the graphics.
Yeah, golden. And even like the larger maps when it's like, oh man, we're going to the snow level.
Yeah.
You gotta get to those towers, or you gotta get that one little gold item at the top. It's a videotape or something.
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye was a
Oh
fun
my gosh.
local multiplayer game. I spent an entire summer playing that game.
Yeah.
An entire summer. Even I mean, this game is still around, and I think it does a great job. Still, is Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Granted, you can play it online now because it is, you know, a modern game, but I think the best interactions, again, is when you have like 4 to 8 people in front of one screen, you know, playing that game. It gets wild. I mean, even tonight, we were like losing our shit over combos and stuff.
Like,
just oh my god! You know,
I should do that to me.
Yeah, I mean, you see a fatality for the first time, you're like, oh shit!
Yeah.
He just did that to you? What? You know?
And then you turn around and do it to him.
Yeah. That's how you lose friendships. Which, by the way, Mortal Kombat needs to bring friendships back.
Tags, like what you was talking about, the Tekken tag.
Oh yeah.
That dude, oh man, I love that.
Yeah.
That stuff is so cool. My brother and I would play against the bots because it was just us. Just sit there and do that all day. That kind of like our babysitter.
Yeah.
Your babysitter on the trampoline right after that and try to test it on him, and then he starts crying.
Right.
And you're like, whoa, maybe we should stop. It hurts people.
But yeah, you brought up a game, Def Jam Vendetta.
No, it was Def Jam 5
for New York. Yeah. Fighting games in general are great. Just local multiplayer games.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
Especially with a group of friends, you know. But even if it's just like you and a buddy, you know, spending an afternoon together. I mean, when I first got Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, Kyle Bujak came over during like Christmas break or whatever.
He beat you, right?
No, all we did was handed the controller back and forth to each other, unlocking characters.
Oh, gotcha.
That's all we
That's
did.
freaking cool.
And we did that for like 3.5 to 4 hours. Just sitting here in the game room.
That too, instead of like nowadays with the newer games, they're always being released with DLC. You don't, there's no incentive to like get to the next level, and you're just like, I'll just buy it. And it's like, I hate that, man, because then somebody
you don't get the whole
didn't
game.
earn it like you did. You're like, you had to go to the secret level and then do this secret thing and beat this character, and then you get it.
Right.
And you get that secret combo move or something like that.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's lost.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
microtransactions.
You really only find that in retro games.
Yeah.
You know, where you buy a game and it's the whole game. That is
exactly
it. I mean, the down part of that side is if the game was buggy. Like rushed and it was buggy and it wasn't finished.
Yeah.
You know, but
updates.
Yeah, but
DLC is good when it only makes it like a new game. Like when
Right.
they're like, oh, we've been working on something, guys. It's gonna be a whole brand new game, and then they
Right.
release it, and you're like, oh, wow, this is crazy.
Right. But speaking of retro games, real quick, guys, the best way to keep your retro games protected from dust, elements of the weather, and whatnot is Collector Protector. And Collector Protector, if you don't know who they are, literally like 95% of my retro cartridge-based games are encased in a plastic case.
Wow, actually, that's pretty cool.
They're really easy to put in, and if you have kids or pets, or you live in a very dusty area, you live in a very humid area, Collector Protector is great because they keep your games protected from top to bottom. Guys, you can go ahead and follow Collector Protector on Instagram at Collector Protector, and that's Collector with a K. And if you decide to get an order tell them Nerdy Nick sent you, and they'll take care of you guys. And that again is Collector Protector with a K.
Do they sponsor about Mortal Kombat with a K too? Or?
Oh, you know, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah,
It
and
is
also,
Mortal Kombat with a K.
real quick, because there is no clever way at all to do a segue into my last sponsor. That is Nate the Milkman. Nate the Milkman makes all of my really cool, awesome figures that you see every week. Dustin, they're right over there. They're like behind my X-Men and Iron Man. They're vinyl figures, but they're like grotesque monsters.
I was gonna say they Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
that's what
he custom sculpts, paints, and does all kinds of great stuff. So head over to NateTheMilkman.com and get your Gordon the Garbage Goblin or Stomach the Upset Stomach today.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
So anyways, guys, just to pretty much wrap it up, online, obviously, versus local, I kind of feel like, even if you have a squad of buddies online, like say you're at home, and I'm at home, and I'm like, I text all of you guys like, hey,
let's get online,
squad up.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And we get online. We're gonna have a good time. We'll have fun.
But you're not together.
Yeah.
You can't throw somebody at something.
Yeah.
My bad. You can't throw something at somebody. Throw somebody at something.
Right.
Totally backwards. But
hold on, let me call up Uber to throw this thing.
Yeah. Like ding dong. Who's there? Are you Edge Lord Master 69? Who wants to know? Well, here's this bag of turd. I'm gonna light it on fire now. See ya.
Another sponsor of his.
No. But yeah, I mean, like for instance, I have a friend. His name's Carlo. He lives in Texas, and we play Black Ops a lot. Black Ops 4 whenever we can. And that wasn't always the case. With Carlo, I experienced my first Halo LAN party. Because he used to live here in Tucson.
That's cool.
Like we met in church forever ago. And he's like 4 years my elder. But anyways, we used to play Halo a lot. We used to do local LAN parties. Swords versus shotguns and all that good stuff, you know. Or rockets all around, you know, and whatnot. And those were the days. And like, you know, online, the only way is, that's the only way we can obviously play.
Right, yeah.
You know, he'll text me blops, ? And I'll be like, if my wife ain't watching Hulu, you know.
Because take that much bandwidth? Or,
yeah, well no, the Xbox isn't in the game room. I have some consoles spread around the house. Like in the living room we have the Wii, Alexa's room has the 360, our room has the Xbox One.
Okay,
so,
that makes sense.
You know, so, I mean, but whatever. But anyways, online has its advantages, but I think the best time you can have is playing all together. And I think, and this is the last question, which system did it best? Which system did local multiplayer the best?
I think there's several different ways you could answer that, and all of them would probably be right. But
yeah, I was gonna say,
from my experience, like with 007 Nightfire and Tekken Tag Tournament and stuff like that, I'm gonna lean PS2. Time Splitters.
Okay.
Well, Time Splitters on board.
Time Splitters is a great game.
Okay, yeah, you're right. That
bang,
was
bang, 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 bang.
Yeah. Running around as a monkey.
Yeah,
you know?
dude. Unlocking all the cheats and stuff like that for big heads, paintballs and stuff. Yeah, sick.
Lean PS2, but I mean Xbox did it well too.
They all did it very well though, because they all had different games. Mm-hmm. Like all had different games. Like obviously, Xbox had Halo, where everybody knows Halo. Like, but then Gears of War also for Xbox.
Yeah,
true. And then you had I don't know, PS. I'm not the PS guy, but I played on PS with people, and still be able to do it.
PS1 had the and so did PS2. They had the
multi-tap.
Multi-tap. There you go. Where you could you would plug it into the player 2 slot, because the PlayStation 1 and 2 only had 2 player slots. So you could plug that in, and it was an L-shaped thing.
They had those little. Yeah, they had. I remember that.
So
that
you could plug in 4
controllers
and brawl out.
And that was fun. That was fun.
So what would be your ultimate answer if you could?
Well, let's see. I grew up on the computer though, so I started with computer.
Yeah.
And then I geared toward. I had a PS1, had a PS2. Then I got my first Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got my first Xbox 360, and then I moved up to Xbox One. Got a PS3, got an Xbox One, got a PS4. But I don't have it anymore. But all of them had awesome games on each one.
Yeah.
Whereas I wish they kind of all did that countersync thing, but
My dog is in the room now.
what's that growling? What is that?
Yeah.
Smell that?
I heard a licking noise and I was like, what the fuck?
What the fuck is that? Yeah, it's a dog. Hi, Clayton.
But I would probably lean more toward I would say Xbox, just because of the fact that to me the one game that brought it all together was honestly it was the first person shooter Halo. Man.
Yeah.
It was just
I agree.
the one that came out that changed everything for
Blood
everybody.
Gulch.
Dude,
Oh my god.
created and ruined friendships right there.
Those
Just-
were men were made.
Yeah, dude, it was.
Yeah.
Don't let him get.
Yep.
He's got the sniper.
Oh, he's got the invisibility. Oh no, where'd he go?
And
Yeah.
then you go up with the tank, and then you can shoot people out of the tank. That
Oh,
was
you
the
can
only.
get the ghost.
Dude, the ghost was.
Yeah.
You could run people over. Or you just did that. All that stuff
Uh-huh.
right there. Somebody got the sniper though, man. You knew something was about to happen.
Yeah, like you would go up to like the cliff part where the sniper rifle was, and
Yeah.
you knew as soon as you got hit like with a bullet out of nowhere, you're like, he's up in the freaking cliff.
That's that
Someone's
little,
up in the freaking cliff.
the dark shadow area.
Yeah.
And then the best part to be though is if you were honestly just almost right in the middle of the map. If
Yeah.
you're right in the middle of the map up against the side of the cliff, you
Right.
could go both sides and you could just spawn kill people. That
Yeah.
was, oh, he's running, bam. And
Yeah.
then look over,
And
bam.
there was also like the little cave area
That too.
off to the side as well.
That was right
Yeah.
before I think the red base.
Uh-huh.
That was sick.
Yep. I was gonna say it's on your right side, but then it could also be on your left side.
Yeah, depending on what
Yeah.
It's on both sides.
Yeah.
We're surrounded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do believe the original Halo was only local multiplayer. There was no online.
There was none, no. And I mean, it did get ported to the PC, but even then, I don't think it had online multiplayer.
I don't know if it got it eventually because I think they did the master. The
Yeah,
remaster,
the
so-
Master Chief collection.
which is so dope, dude.
Yeah, like that's pretty awesome. And I like how you can toggle between old-time graphics
Yeah.
and current graphics, like that, snap of your fingers.
Old time graphics, dude, was so cool.
Right.
Even for the time, like I still go back to it. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
Army Men 3D. Does anybody remember the classic Army Men games?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Dude,
I have.
Sarge's War and
Yeah.
Those
Soldier's
were sick.
Heroes.
Zeros. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, those
Then
games
you
were
had
sick.
like the air combat ones. Where
yeah,
it's like all the helicopters and stuff.
those were hard.
And then
You were shooting
Army
fireworks.
Men, like World at War or something like that. Yeah.
Dude. I need to get all these games back on the
Right?
Oh man,
So
nostalgia.
to wrap it up for me, the system that did it best had to be the Nintendo 64. That was
All three different things here.
the first system that had, for me anyways, actually I think all around, it was the first system that had 4 controller ports.
Maybe they will.
You know,
Yeah, I think you're right.
and honestly, when you buy that system, you get a controller, you get the system, and a game. My first, I was a late adopter to the N64, so I got my N64 at Toys R Us. It was the limited edition gold.
Ah, you were that guy.
N64.
Yeah, you were
and I
that
still
guy.
have it. It's right over there.
Oh, dude.
That's your original
Yeah,
one?
that's my OG.
No,
Yep.
wait, okay.
Yep.
I thought you lost that for some reason
No.
and you bought another one.
But my first
Don't
2
lose
games were Kobe Bryant's NBA courtside and Pokemon Stadium. So you got like 2 polar opposite games. But the great thing about the N64 is how inviting it is for local multiplayer. Almost every game that came out for the N64 had local multiplayer integrated into it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And you have games
Yeah.
like that are super easy and fun for everybody to play, like Mario Kart 64. You know,
Yeah.
And back then, GoldenEye was awesome, and it was easier to play like compared to nowadays, because we have different controllers and different controller schemes, right?
Yeah.
So
of course.
And people have different dynamic playing as well. Like they figure out the dynamics of the game and then they just ruin you.
and like nowadays, almost every controller is shaped the same. You know.
Generally, yeah.
Yeah, like for the Xbox and Nintendo Switch, the controllers, like aside from the Joy-Cons on the Switch, the Pro controller on the Switch is the same as the Xbox One's controller.
Yeah.
The only one that's different is the PS4 controller, where the analog sticks are right across from each other rather than offset.
Yeah.
But you had games like Mario Kart 64, Army Men Sarge's War, Mario Party games. I mean, Mario Party.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. You beat me to it.
Yeah. And just so many other games that make that system. I mean, Bomberman 64 is a great game too, where it's just, hey, let's get 4 people together and have fun. Yeah.
Sleepovers happened.
Sleepovers for sure.
Some guy on the couch, some guy on the floor. Guy obviously in his room in bed. And then you always had that one friend you never knew where he went.
Yeah.
And he just kind of showed up in the morning.
Right.
Smelled bacon or eggs. He was like, "Hey guys."
Yeah.
Whoa.
You're still here?
Yeah. We didn't know where you went last night. But I think the N64 did it best. I mean, I spent one entire summer playing GoldenEye, and I think the world is not enough. And I mean, there was more than one Bond game on the N64, but GoldenEye is just the one that's most remembered.
Yeah.
And every now and then, we used to do it more, but every now and then my wife and I will play Mario Kart 64, and we'll do a World Cup kind of deal where we'll do four maps, and we'll see who gets the best out of it. I do pretty good, but she tends to beat me more.
What was that one we were playing with the planes and the carts? You could choose which one.
That's
Donkey Kong.
Oh, Diddy Kong Racing. That's another good one.
Yeah,
that is another great one.
That was really fun.
I just feel like the N64 had more multiplayer games programmed for it
I agree.
during its time.
It was also user friendly.
Very user friendly.
Yeah.
Compared to the PS1 and Sega Saturn that were out at the time.
CD based.
Yeah, they were CD based, but they only had 2 controller ports versus the N64's 4.
4, yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah. I mean,
all valid points, I think.
My N64 is still plugged in to this day, and it's ready to be played. All you gotta do is turn it on, and that's because of the accessibility for the gaming console and whatnot. But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's where people like you see how you said you went N64. Mm-hmm. I said Xbox, but the thing is that's where all the friends I've noticed mostly when we were gathering around it. But
same thing for
PS. Yes, yeah, exactly.
PS2.
But now, not that I play PC, I see all the games on the PC and I can emulate it all.
Yeah.
But if you call yourself a gamer, I mean, you can play anything. It doesn't matter what you play. You can play Nintendo Switch, you can play Xbox, old style. Gamer's a gamer, no matter where you go.
Well, and the funny thing is, when you said Xbox was the next gen after N64, and that took the four controller ports with it.
Yeah,
it did. And OG Xbox has 4 controller
slot them
ports.
in there.
Yeah.
And then wireless came out, and you were the cool kid on the block, and you had the wireless one.
Yep.
Oh man.
Same thing with the Nintendo GameCube, which we didn't mention, but the Nintendo GameCube also had 4 controller ports. Same
Mario
thing with
Party.
The Sega Dreamcast, which was kind of short-lived, but
it's got 4 ports.
Yeah, Sony was the only one that was kind of like,
nah.
We'll come out with a weird oblong-shaped, device that'll let you plug in everything.
It looks like an L.
Yeah, because you're a loser.
I bought that for you, so what is that?
Yeah.
That was one of those probably schemes. They were like, maybe we can make more money if we just integrate it after.
All these guys want to play with each other. Okay, well, we'll have to pay extra for that.
That's when you go, screw that, I'm going to go buy a Nintendo. Or screw that, I'm going to go buy this.
But, yeah, I think we all have pretty valid points here. Which system did it best? We'll close out with this. Out of our systems that we picked, PS2, N64, Xbox,
PC.
Get out of here.
Which system out of all of these would you vote for that did it best out of the ones that we picked?
Well, I picked PS2 only because that was my personal experience. Mm-hmm. If I'm going off of what actually did it best, I would probably vote 64.
Yeah. Well, it was the first to do it too. So it kind of like integrated. Everybody else kind of saw that probably was like, oh, hey guys, we got to compete now.
This was the first major one. I mean, you could do it before that, but it wasn't. It was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it have like that NES adapter I bought you?
Right. No, you bought that for yourself.
Oh yeah, I did. Okay,
Yeah.
I bought you the PS1 one then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Loser.
Loser.
That's why I bought it for him.
Yeah, you, sir.
All right, Ace.
Yeah.
That was SpongeBob.
No.
Loser.
Okay, that one too.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, guys, thanks for watching the video. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button and click the bell so you get notifications for new videos that I publish when I publish them. I was gonna say every week, but sometimes life happens. Like next Sunday is Mother's Day, and today I was lucky enough to have my friends over to record this video.
And remember Mother's Day, because we all sat around going, "When's Mother's Day?"
Yeah, we all forgot.
No. Y'all forgot. Mama, I said it was the 12th. They all looked at their calendars. I remember.
Well, the problem with our new phones is the calendars doesn't actually put anything on there, so I kind of have an excuse.
Oh,
Really,
brother.
And then you can also follow me on my my Facebook page where I do my weekly streams, and that is www.facebook.com/nerdynick91. Make sure to like that page as well. I do streams basically 3 to 5 days a week. I have a weekly midweek show every Wednesday called Nights with Nerdy Nick, where it's a topical based show where it can be from gaming news to movie reviews. My last review was Avengers Endgame. It was a spoiler cast, about 2 hours long, fully in-depth look at Avengers Endgame. And David, where can we find you?
Twitter and Instagram at the same username @DaddyDave92.
Oh yeah, and I forgot.
Daddy.
You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. It's NerdyNick91. Or is it NerdyNick_91?
It's _91.
It's NerdyNick_91.
You don't even know your own damn handle.
Yeah. Well, that's why I keep my card right there, because I can look at it in reference. When
My God, dude.
Can't remember your own stuff.
Yeah. Dustin doesn't really do.
Not yet.
Much?
I mean, I'm
Not
thinking
yet.
about it. It's just one of those things because obviously PC-based stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of games that I play, a lot of integrated stuff that eventually will get. But
Yeah. But for now, you can see him here in this video, and hopefully in future.
first time.
Yeah, and hopefully in future videos within the Nerdy Nick universe, the NNCU, Nerdy Nick Cinematic Universe. I think we talked about that last time.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We'll do that whole thing. You'll dress up as your main Mario guy, right?
Yeah,
And, apparently now I guess my Thing 1 thing is taken off. Everybody
Well, there you go.
freaking dig that. So I have to grow my hair out now.
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to do that.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, again, thank you so much. Thanks to our sponsors, and we will see you next time.
Boom.